Howdy folks, Timber Drifter here. It's a little hot here in northern Wisconsin. I know that's probably funny to some of you folks down south, but it's in the 90s here today, I believe, which is hot for here. I grew up in southeast Kansas. I know what hot is, and this isn't it. But I do have a good time watching everybody melt, all these cold climate folks. And I like my winter too, but since I know what hot weather is, 90 degrees and humidity doesn't seem like much to me. But I sure like watching all these people melt and drink lots of Gatorade and wear cool rags around their neck and complain about everything and lay on the floor under the air conditioner. It's all a matter of perspective, I guess. So, anyway, I'm house sitting. Some of you that have seen these videos will possibly recognize the covered deck. This is the place with the horses and my buddy Caillou the dog, who somewhat resembles a baboon right now. Hey Caillou, are you hot, buddy? Are you hot? Yeah, you're hot. Caillou is bar none my favorite dog. Boom. So, some of you will recognize these tampers. Tamper and reamer. Now, I've had this set since there was still snow on the ground here. They're made from teak recovered from a shipwreck. Made by the fine gentleman, Old Khakis, Wes. Now, I've been holding off showing these, even though I use them almost every day, because I had a very special video in mind. I made a little mount for this mount. It slides right into it, and that's screwed to the thwart on my canoe. And I put my canoe in the water for the first time this year, today. And I did about an hour and a half long canoe trip with some friends of mine, a couple of teenage boys that are the sons of my best friend. And we had a good time, and I broke off after they were done and did a short little video talking about this pipe and these tampers, or tamper and reamer. That's brass, by the way. And that's tobacco. And then realized later on that I had, after I'd made this great video where I, for once, set everything perfectly and had, nice camera angles and the lighting was good and all that, I actually pressed record when I was done with the video rather than before. And I didn't realize that until I got here and my phone had been recording for quite a while. I was gonna put it on my computer and upload it to YouTube while I'm here house sitting, and there it was, nothing but a whole lot of phone in my pocket. So there's my great video. So Wes, I held off a long time to make a really good video introducing these tampers that you made me, that I've had since there was snow on the ground, and then I just screwed it up. So I'm sitting here using them right now, so I'm just gonna, there they are, and you'll see them in my canoe later on. But I figured, considering where these came from, shipwreck salvage, the fact that I want to use them in my canoe is fitting. But it's a lovely set. Wes has made quite a few of these sets now, I think. I've seen various people with them. They're great. They work perfectly, and this rides on the front seat of my old Ford Exploder next to my pipe rack and a bunch of little jars of tobacco like this. And this is what I use in the vehicle. So, and next up, now this came from a friend from the UK. That's as specific as I'm going to get, because he doesn't wish for any recognition. I made a comment, or probably several comments, when he got this pipe, talking about how much I liked it, and it appeals to me aesthetically. You know, it's a really nice shape. I like the rustication. I like the shape of the stem, and he just sent it to me. So, thank you. I've already said that, but here you go again. And I'll try not to slip up and say your name, and if any of you recognize this pipe, keep it to yourself. The man doesn't want the recognition. So, it's made by Northern Briars. Boom, there it is. Look at that, huh? And the bowl is actually about 3/4 full because I didn't have time to finish my smoke, and I didn't want to waste what I was smoking. So I was very careful not to turn the pipe around and dump it out in the bag. But there it is, folks. It is a beautiful, beautiful pipe. So some interesting things about this pipe. It's handmade. I've looked up Northern Briars a bit, and I can't find much information on them or him. So yeah, I'm not able to find a whole lot of information. It's obviously a handmade pipe. Pretty well executed, I'd say. And since I've been dabbling in pipe making myself lately, I see a few things, and they're not worth bringing up. It's a nice pipe. It's a really nice pipe. Better than what I do so far. Of course, I work in cherry wood and maple. I don't work in briar. I'm not going to buy briar. But this is a wonderful pipe. I really liked it when I saw the pictures of it, and there's just something about it. I like a bulldog shape, for one thing. I like a diamond shank, which is what this is. And that rustication is just lovely. And it smokes really well. I've been smoking the hell out of this pipe, if it had any hell in it. I've been smoking it a lot. I was working the Hodag 39th annual Hodag Country Music Festival in Rhinelander, Wisconsin for a week. I did it last year and then again this July. And this was my go-to morning pipe. Pretty much every morning. I was working 12 to 17 hour days. Got 101 and a half hours in 7 days. And this pipe carried me through a bit. So, what I'm smoking in it? In a jar. I'm not smoking the jar. I'm smoking Penzance from Joshua in the Woods. He sent me this and some other tobaccos and a book. The gentleman who sent this also sent a couple of books. So I tried Penzance. I can't be exactly sure, but it was at Ronald Kern's tobacco shop in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. I'm going to say in 2003. Maybe 4. Now, when I tried it back then, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was pretty nasty, actually. And I tried Stonehaven and Margate, I think. And I didn't like any of them. But I also hadn't been smoking a pipe more than a few years, and I was still enjoying my Tinderbox aromatics, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that my tastes have changed these days. And I'll tell you what, I like the Penzance. I'm not going to buy any of it. However, if anyone would like to send some Penzance, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to be buying any Penzance. It's just too damn expensive and too rare, and I'll let the rest of you who really like to have something special and who really enjoy it buy all that you want. I'm not going to get involved. Because the flavors that I enjoy in Penzance I also find in several other tobaccos. One of them being Bombay Court from McClelland, which has been a standard of mine for 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. And several other tobaccos that have the same flavor profile, pretty much. What's different from the tobaccos that I like that have quite a similar flavor to Penzance is the cut. This is a chunkier cut. It's kind of bits of broken flake in there, which Bombay Court can get kind of hot. And I'm not saying Bombay Court and Penzance are brothers. They're not. But the flavors that I find that are special in Penzance also occur in Bombay Court and several other tobaccos. And Bombay Court will burn hotter than this will, simply because of the cut of that. Of Penzance is chunkier. Burns a little slower. Depends on how you smoke it too, I guess. But I was smoking this about 4 hours ago. When I put it out and put it in the bag, it tastes just as good when I let it back up just now. And it's humid and hot out. Normally you leave a pipe out that's in humid weather and it gets a little funky. We've got a storm brewing. I've had some pretty terrible storms in the area recently. Knocked out a lot of roads further north of here, just big washouts. Looks like the Grand Canyon with asphalt running off into it. A lot of trees down, a lot of power out. But I like that. It just reminds me of what I already know. The system is fragile. Mother Nature can spank us anytime she chooses to. So, thank you, the man who will remain unnamed. Thank you very much for the leather, goods, the pipe, and the books. Joshua, all the tobaccos he has sent. I think there were 4. It's been a while now. I've smoked all of it except for this. It's all gone. They were good. And the book I'm still reading. It's not a sit down and read straight through kind of book for me, and it's the kind of book that hit me at the right time in my life. And I may make a video talking about that. It's called After Buddhism. And Wes, thank you. Use these all the time. So, also I'll mention that it's been a while since I made a video because I've been busy. Been working a lot, been camping out, doing things, on the run. Not watching a lot of YouTube videos, not around Wi-Fi. And after I made my last YouTube video, my phone broke. And this video is going to run a little bit long because I don't have time to make 2 and and upload 2 videos. This will take all night to upload as it is. So I had a Sony Xperia, and in many ways it was a good phone. In some it was not. But I had it set to vibrate, the alarm clock set to vibrate to wake me up, and while vibrating it cracked the screen. And Sony Xperia, I found out, is the only smartphone that there's no screen kit available for. And also when the screen breaks, the phone is completely disabled. It erased it. I woke up with my alarm going off and I couldn't make it do anything, and I couldn't see the crack in the screen because it was just a hairline crack. But everything was just going wild. It looked like someone was just scrolling through everything, deleting contacts, calling people, hanging up on them, running through my pictures, deleting pictures, taking pictures, and it was all because of the crack and the pressure. Finally, when I realized what was going on, after I woke up and I thought someone had hacked my phone, and I flexed the phone a little bit just to see what would happen, and then the crack showed up. I could see it. It was there before that, but I thought it was a hair on the screen. And once I did that, it took pressure off of it and it quit doing things. But couldn't turn the phone off. Couldn't do anything. So that's a fail, Sony. Make something like that you can't even turn off and that won't function with a minor crack in the screen. What a bunch of crap. All right, I'm done. So now I'm back to Samsung. I don't know if it'll function with a cracked screen either, but I don't intend to crack it. So on a completely different subject, for some reason, quite a few old pocket knives have been coming my way. Either people are giving them to me, or I'm finding them ridiculously cheap. And I'm probably going to, at some point, in my long list of things I'd like to make videos about, talk about 3 of these knives that were obviously purchased and carried by one person. They're in varying stages of being worn out. But, yeah, for whatever reason, for the last few weeks, pocket knives have been coming my way. One that I found today, and I paid $2 for this. It's an old case. It's carbon steel. One of the blades is broken off. The very tip is broken off of this one, but it's not bent, and it actually still has the factory edge on it. That's a nice little pocket knife, and it was carried quite a bit. It's pocket worn, but it's a neat old knife, and these things just keep showing up. $2. Some of you might not think it's worth that, but just about any case pocket knife in any condition is worth at least $2. But I like rehabbing old stuff like that. Those 3 old pocket knives that guy carried probably throughout his later part of his life, I'm not going to do anything with those. They're museum pieces, because the way that people wear a blade, the way that they sharpen knives and use knives, it's almost as individual as a fingerprint. And I'm not going to use those knives, so I'd hate to change that. I don't know that might be the only imprint that man ever left on the world. Who knows? Another thing I like about this pipe that I don't think I said already is kind of the crazy amount of stamping that's on it. I don't know, this phone doesn't like to focus as much as my other one did. But anyway, you can see there's almost excessive stamping. It's like an old trunk that traveled on steamships around the world and has all the stickers from various ports on it. What it actually reminds me of is when I used to handle British military firearms at gun shows and things like that, and you see all the little stamps and cartouches all over them. It reminds me of that. All those little stamps, rocks cut at a funny angle, and it looks like that. I was always fond of that. All the stamps all over British firearms. It's just neat. It's a really great pipe, and kind of strangely enough too. The button or bit, it's kind of thick, right? I think it's kind of wide, kind of thick, chunky. And my teeth are kind of crooked on this side, and this is where I hold a pipe, always on the left. If I switch to the right, it's never at the right angle, and it feels weird. So, pretty much always on the left. And this pipe clinches really well for me. I can't talk very well with it in my mouth, but I don't tend to talk a whole lot with a pipe in my mouth anyway, unless I'm growling at someone. It holds solid. It's like this guy built this for my teeth, strange as that sounds. And as large as this pipe is, it's not particularly heavy. It doesn't I don't feel it. Anyway, I don't know how much longer I'm going to ramble on here, but yeah, it's been busy for a while. I've been camping out and working, like I said. Working a lot more than I like to, but it is with a purpose. Oh, Caillou the dog, he's just so hot. Poor guy. He's the neatest damn dog. He's really intelligent. So, the old Ford Exploder I bought a while back that I named Buck. I named it Buck because the suspension, what little of it there is, doesn't work very well, and it's like it bucks you around a good deal. Still running. For now. There it is. With my Old Town pack canoe on there that I've had for a hell of a long time. 12 years or 13, 14 years, I don't even know. But it was good to get that canoe in the water today. It's good to sit around on somebody else's house that I don't have to pay for, hanging out with their horses and their cool dog and drinking Strongbow cider and smoking Penzance in a handmade pipe with handmade tampers. Sometimes a lot of shit happens in life and it feels not so great. And other times like this, pretty good. Take care, folks.